Are you thinking about making the move to the greater Sacramento area? Maybe you've heard about this super cute town that we're in today. It's called Davis, California. Now in today's video, we're gonna share with you the ultimate guide to living in Davis. We're gonna cover things like the best neighborhoods here. We're gonna cover pros and cons to living in this specific suburb. We're also gonna break down all of the essentials and everything you need to know if you're considering this super cute town.
Let's check it out. All right, what's up everyone? We're Lance and Lauren with the Living in Sacramento team, and on today's video, we are gonna be covering all things Davis. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. This is a Living in Sacramento channel, and a lot of you guys are searching what some of the best suburbs are in the greater Sacramento metro. And usually on a lot of different polls, Davis ranks up there towards the top, if not #1. So today's video, like she said, we're gonna be covering some of their best neighborhoods. We're gonna tell you some of the absolute pros of this awesome little town. We're also going to talk to you about some of the things that you must know if you're thinking about sending your college kid here, or if you're thinking about making the move to Davis, California yourself. So you're definitely gonna wanna stick around because we've got a bonus con that we just figured out today while we were here, and it was annoying. All right, so before we jump into all the neighborhoods and start diving deep into those pros and cons about Davis, California, let's talk a little bit about some of the other things that might slip through the cracks. So Davis is gonna be located about 15 to 20 minutes west of Sacramento if you're heading down Interstate 80 back towards San Francisco. Now, primarily what Davis is known for is that it's going to be a college town. 60% of the population in Davis, California is going to be comprised of college students who come in and out every season, but there are about 40 to 50% of people who live here year-round who call Davis home. Now, we wanted to highlight an area of Davis that's not typically a neighborhood, but one of the things that usually slips through the cracks when doing some of these videos, which is going to be the downtown part of Davis, which is going to be where kind of all the hustle and bustle that comes in. So we're actually right down the street from Central Park, which is going to be located just off of C Street. It's going to be right there in the heart of Davis where you're gonna have some of your restaurants, you're gonna have Burgers and Brew down here, you're gonna have some of your bars, a lot of the things and a lot of the places that people like to come to on the weeknights. People like to come down here and study. You got Starbucks, you got a bunch of little coffee shops. So definitely a cool place to check out. Now, while it is known as being a college town, it's also known as the bike capital of the United States, where you're constantly seeing people riding around on scooters and bicycles, and it's really kind of dangerous, to be entirely honest. I mean, if you're not paying attention driving, you're definitely at risk of clipping a bicyclist. So keep that in mind when you're out here and you're visiting Davis, but you definitely want to keep your eyes and your head up because you want to pay attention to all the bicyclists. This has been one of the craziest times. We're crossing streets, we're driving downtown, people aren't paying attention, classes are getting out of school, so people are all over the place right now. Now, a lot of people don't live down here. You are gonna have, different businesses, you are gonna have probably some fraternities that are gonna be down here. This is not typically a neighborhood. As we're headed down D Street, we just passed 4th, but you're gonna get down and kind of to the heart of Davis where there's gonna be a ton of different restaurants. You do have some of these old, cuter cottage bungalow houses, similar to like what we see in like the Roseville area, but definitely a cool little spot. And then this is gonna be just where all the kind of downtown stuff happens. So you're gonna have a lot of coffee shops, you're gonna have Cafe Bernardo, you're gonna have Burgers and Brew down here, great food, good little vibe, great little town. So, really this corner, as you start to look and start to see all this stuff, you're gonna see really this is gonna be a little bit more of that college downtown vibe. And then where we're gonna take you for all of the neighborhoods a little bit later on in this video, that's gonna be more towards the north side. So you're gonna get past the college, you're gonna get kind of more into the town where the high school is at, but definitely a cool little spot when you're down here, especially kind of this section of like 3rd and D Street. So pretty cool. School's just gotten out. It's definitely poppin'. You've got Cafe Bernardo on one corner, you've got the Mexican restaurant, Bubblegum Art Studio. So definitely some cool things down here, but let's go jump into those first couple of neighborhoods and start diving through some of those pros and cons. All right, and so the next neighborhood that we're gonna be at out here in Davis, California is going to be called the Cannery. Now, the Cannery is one of the newer neighborhoods in Davis, California that we're gonna be featuring on this video today. And it's actually gonna be a pretty cool spot. So it's gonna have kind of a mixed use area. It's gonna be one of California's first farm to table communities. Now, around the perimeter of some of the aerial views of this community, you're gonna see a lot of gardens that are gonna be around the outer edges of it. And this whole community was designed with sustainability in mind. So it's actually pretty cool, and it has a very, I would say, kind of suburban loft feel. So you're gonna have a little bit of mixed units over here in this particular neighborhood. So you're gonna have some kind of like loft style living. So let's go ahead and flip this around. So over there in the distance, you are gonna have a kind of a apartment style. These are also gonna be a little bit more of like loft style apartments, townhomes, condos. And then it's also gonna have a big park. And then as we throw the drone up in the air, you're gonna see some detached single family homes that are going to be just your traditional homes. So it's got a really cool mixed unit feel here. I'm standing towards the front of the development where you've got kind of like this little amphitheater. You've got an overhead shade structure, but they probably do some pretty cool concerts over here. You got some barbecues, a little play structure. Now, this particular community, as well as most of the neighborhoods that we're featuring on today's video, are gonna be more towards the north side of Davis, more towards the backside away from Interstate 80. But you're gonna have a lot more newer type developments here. This particular community is, like I said, a little bit newer, so you're gonna have a little bit of that newer construction feel from here all the way to the backside of the development. Now, a lot of the construction happened at the Cannery starting in 2014, and we were out here maybe about a year ago, and they were still building some of the multi-unit spaces that were towards the front of the development. So everything in this community is going to feel a little bit newer as it relates to the type of construction, but it is really nice that it has that sustainability, that eco-friendly farm to table kind of concept. So there's definitely tons of people out. This is still a great, beautiful day, fall, and people are still out riding their bikes. Of course, it's Davis, so everybody's gonna be riding their bike. But this particular neighborhood, I like it a lot because for the most part, the neighborhoods in Davis are going to have a much older feel. The homes being built in the 70s and the 80s, some of that mid-century modern. So I actually like a lot of new construction neighborhoods. In Davis, you don't see a ton of it. Now, that's why this neighborhood is one of my top favorites. Now, since we're at the Cannery, one of the pros that I am going to say for Davis in general, but specifically this neighborhood, is going to be the fact that Davis as a town has a commitment to sustainability. So Davis as an entire city has a strong culture of sustainability and environmental awareness. So they're constantly putting different practices in place, similar to a neighborhood like the Cannery, where they're trying to really promote that eco-friendly, sustainable lifestyle. Besides that, it also has a great agricultural lifestyle here. UC Davis is also known for having some really good agricultural studies as relates to some majors there at the college. So this entire town has a huge initiative around that, and it definitely aligns with the residents who decide that they want to reside here, or even the college students that decide that they want to come here and spend 4 years of their life getting a college degree here. Now, sticking with the outdoors, one of the things that I'm going to say is one of the biggest cons about Davis is going to be the hot summer. So in the summertime, we can range to anywhere between 30 to 45 days of temperatures that eclipse 100 degrees in temperature. So especially if you're coming from a more milder climate or even a colder climate, or you're specifically coming from the Bay Area or Southern California, there's gonna be about 35 to 40 days in the summertime where we're gonna break 100. There's also probably gonna be maybe 5 to 10 of those days, maybe 14 of those days that you're gonna break almost 110. So keep in mind, a lot of these places locally in Davis are going to have central heating and air, but keep in mind, if you don't have a home that has central air, you are going to be a little bit more miserable in the summertime. So that's going to be one of our pros and one of our cons for Davis. And that's going to be our recap of the Cannery out here. All right, so before we jump into our second neighborhood that we're taking around on this tour of Davis, California, we also wanted to let you know that we are licensed real estate agents in the state of California, which means that as much as we love making these videos for you guys who are thinking about relocating or moving to the Sacramento Metro, we actually love helping you more with all of your real estate needs. So that phone number is going to be popping up. We are the ones that answer every phone call, email, and text message, and absolutely love it when you guys reach out to us. So go ahead and give us a phone call, shoot us a text, or send us an email, whatever works best for you. Or if you'd like, you can schedule your private one-on-one Zoom consultation where we can talk about your plans. We can figure out what kind of strategy you guys are thinking about or getting you prepared for your move to the greater Sacramento metro. So let's jump back into that second neighborhood.
All right, now the next neighborhood we're gonna take you through is going to be Mace Ranch. Now, Mace Ranch is located on the eastern side of Davis, closest towards Sacramento. So if you have to commute into Sacramento and you don't wanna have to trek all the way across Davis, but you wanna be in Davis, Mace Ranch is probably gonna be where you're gonna wanna be. Now, the homes in this community are super cute. They were built in the 1990s leading up into the early 2000s. They're absolutely stunning. The thing I love about this neighborhood is there's tons of little parks that are built into this neighborhood. You've got soccer fields, you've got a lot of trails. You also have sidewalks that weave in and around this neighborhood. It's family friendly. Now, the homes in this neighborhood are going to be a little bit larger since they are newer. You can find anything from a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home all the way up to a 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom home. So if you've got a larger family and you want something that's a little bit newer, this is going to be a great spot to be. One of my favorite things about this neighborhood is that Mace Ranch has a super cute little water community that's inside of it. So if you're looking for a home and maybe you want to back to a man-made lake, you can find that in Mace Ranch. The other thing that I love about this neighborhood is I love how family friendly it is. I love that during the different times of the year, you'll see, like right now it's Halloween season, lots of these homes are decorated for Halloween. During the Christmas season, this neighborhood goes all out as well. Now, this neighborhood is going to be further away from UC Davis. So if you're a professor, maybe you're someone who has to commute into the actual university, or maybe you're moving here because you've got a college kiddo and you want them to still live at home. It's just noteworthy to mention that this neighborhood, being on the eastern side, is going to be a little bit deeper to get into UC Davis. So if that's somewhere you have to commute to or go to, just keep that in mind. Now, the other thing that I absolutely love about this neighborhood is this neighborhood also does different community events throughout the year. It's a super cute, fun, family-friendly neighborhood that you definitely can't go wrong with. I love how cute the houses are. I love the unique characteristics that these houses have and just the overall grand feeling that they have that you don't always find in Davis. All right, now let's move on to a pro and a con. Now, definitely a pro to living in Davis is going to be the access to outdoor amenities as well as just the nature that you can find here. So Davis has a ton of canopy tree-lined streets that are absolutely stunning, located all throughout the city. There's also a lot of outdoor trails and hikes that you can go on out here. You've got the Arboretum Walk. You've got a lot of different things that can get you outside and active. Now, one thing to note is that people that live in Davis generally live a healthier, active outdoor lifestyle just because of all of the trails and the biking that this community is known for, as well as access to outdoor parks. So there's also a lot of green belts and open nature trails that you can go on throughout the city. So if you're looking for living in a community where you've got outdoor parks and a bunch of different cool things to get outside and hang out and have fun with your kiddos, Davis is going to be a great spot to be at. All right, now let's move on to a con. So a con for Davis is going to be that the affordability here is going to be a little bit less. So affordability in Davis, because your proximity to the university, houses in this area are going to go for a lot higher. Rent here is also going to be a lot higher. So your entry-level point to get into a home in Davis, your dollar's not going to go quite as far as it does in some of the other suburban areas outside of Sacramento. So just keep that in mind, that Davis's entry price point is going to be a little bit higher. Your dollar's not going to go as far, versus $700,000 that you can get in Davis versus $700,000 that you can find in Roseville. It's going to be a completely different type of house as well as size of house. So keep that in mind if you're thinking about relocating to the Davis area.
All right, and the next neighborhood that we're gonna take you to is gonna be over in the northeast corner of Davis, California, which is going to be Wild Horse. Now, the cool thing that I love about Wild Horse, and I'm just gonna start off this section by saying it is built around the Wild Horse 18-hole golf course. I love to play golf, so if it were me and I was moving to Davis, this would probably be one of my top choices or one of my top communities, even though places like the Cannery or Mace Ranch or Stonegate are all beautiful and gorgeous neighborhoods. Wild Horse is going to be one of those areas that's going to have the community aspect or the community lifestyle that I'm looking for, right? So like I said, Wild Horse is going to be towards the northeast corner of Davis. It's going to be surrounded by a golf course. On some sides, it's going to have some agricultural farmlands. On other sides, as you see from the drone footage, but it is going to be primarily known for its single family homes on larger lots. So as you can see behind me, there are definitely some bigger sized homes over here. Now, some of these homes are going to have kind of a Spanish Mediterranean feel to them. Some of them are going to have a craftsman, some of them are going to have a modern look to them as we're kind of walking through the neighborhood. A lot of these homes are going to be built in the early 2000s, so you're going to have some stucco exteriors, you're going to have some newer amenities, but they're going to be really nice homes. There is going to be a mix, so as we flip it around here, there is going to be a mix of, two-story homes as well as some single-story homes. Like I said, some Mediterranean kind of Spanish style, craftsman, modern homes, tile roofs. So a lot of these homes were kind of built in that early 2000s kind of era. You got nice, large, wide streets. Now, another component that I think people really like about this neighborhood is you've got a lot of walking trails. You've got a lot of space where you can get some outdoor activities. We've got this nice giant park behind me here. And this is just a park that neighbors to the golf course. So you've got a guy out here who's walking his dog, and then it's actually going to, just on the other side of that gate is actually going to be the 18-hole golf course, or one of the 18 holes. So, all right, now jumping into our next pro and our next con for the town of Davis. The next pro that you guys should know about is going to be that Davis is going to have some of the best public rated school districts in the entire Sacramento metro, with the high school rated an 8 out of 10. They've got really good test scores at a 10 out of 10. And a lot of these things can be found on greatschools.org. But the nice thing about Davis is typically from the elementary school all the way to the junior high, you're going to be dealing with 8s out of 10s, 9 out of 10s, as well as 10 out of 10s. Now, the other thing that is unique to Davis that a lot of other places in the Sacramento metro don't have is you're going to have UC Davis, which is going to be the University of California, Davis, which is going to be one of the top colleges in the entire country for veterinary sciences, agricultural, medical. So I think a lot of you guys who reach out to us from the channel, maybe you have a kid or a student that is thinking about wanting to go to Davis, and maybe you want to live in Davis, maybe you want to be close enough to them, but you don't want to be on top of them. So you might want to decide that you want to live somewhere in the Sacramento metro, maybe on the east side of the Sacramento River, but that still puts you within a 30 to 45 minute drive from UC Davis if something were to happen to your kid and you needed to go bail them out for something. So that's kind of the nice thing about Davis being a smaller college town, where a lot of kids love to come to this college from across the country. But maybe you want to be close to your kids, but you don't want to be the helicopter parents. So you can be in the Sacramento metro and you can still be within a 45-minute drive from Davis. Now, definitely one of the cons that you're going to want to consider if you're thinking about making the move to Davis is going to be the limited nightlife here. So it is going to be one of those towns that's going to be primarily a college town. I believe about 50 to 60% of the population is actually going to be comprised of college students who are coming in and out of the community throughout the different semesters that we have throughout the year. Now, with that being said, when semester is out and the college is not in session, it can feel like a much quieter town. You're definitely not dodging all the bicyclists. You're definitely not looking all different directions for people who aren't paying attention to different stop signs and streetlights. But it is one of those things where you want to make sure that you're keeping that in mind, that it is going to have a little bit more of a limited nightlife here. But the nightlife that it does have, it is going to be similar to that of a college town. You're probably going to have a few college town bars that are going to be sprinkled throughout the town, or the main town area that we showed you. And that's going to be pretty typical. Now, a lot of people, if you're thinking about going out and doing something fun, a lot of people just head over on the other side of the causeway and they go check out things that are happening down in downtown Sacramento. But if you're wanting a place that's going to have an ample nightlife, keep that in mind. Davis may not be the town for you.
All right, now the neighborhood I'm at right now is going to be Covell Park. Now, Covell Park is one of Davis's top neighborhoods, especially if you want to be centrally located and if you want to be close to Davis Senior High as well as North Davis Elementary. So the cool thing about this neighborhood is centrally located in the heart of Davis. You're walking distance to Davis Senior High as well as the elementary school. Now, the other cool thing about this neighborhood is these are going to be older homes that were built between the 1970s and 1980s. Now, these homes are going to have a lot of unique details to them. These are going to be a little bit larger homes. They're going to sit on larger lots, They're gonna have big backyards. Now, the other cool thing about this neighborhood is you can find homes in here that have been redone, but you can also find older homes that haven't been redone. So if you're someone like me who likes to take a home that has good bones and turn it into something that you absolutely love, this is a great neighborhood for that. Now, another fun fact about this neighborhood is that they host a lot of community events at this park. So they are known during the Easter season to do an Easter egg hunt at this park. They also do different fun things throughout the year when it comes to Halloween. This is a really big neighborhood in Davis for Halloween, with tons of trick-or-treaters that come through this neighborhood. And because you're so close to the school, you're just close to all of the action if you're in that family stage of life. All right, now let's talk about a pro and a con for Davis. Now, a pro is gonna be, this is a bike-friendly community. So if you like to get out and bike, if you like to bike to do all of your errands, bike around town, bike to the coffee shop, bike to dinner, then Davis is definitely an area that you're gonna wanna consider. Now, Davis is known to be the bike capital in the United States. So just driving around here while we're filming this video, there are bikers out everywhere. Even as I've been filming this, bikers have been going back and forth. Even when you're out driving on the main streets, there's bikers everywhere. So it is a really cool pro if you like to get out and ride your bike and you want to be in a bike-friendly area. Davis is definitely a place that you're going to want to be. But on the flip, as a driver, you also have to be extremely cautious because they're everywhere. Now, a con to Davis. A con to Davis is going to be that Davis lacks when it comes to shopping. So you do have obviously your grocery stores and all of those kind of shops. You've got some cute little boutique-y style stores, but when it comes to like your big box retailers, you're not gonna find those in Davis. You will have to travel outside of Davis back into Sacramento or all the way to the Roseville Galleria if you're looking for a big mall. There's really not a lot close when it comes to that kind of thing here. So if shopping is something that you love to do, if you like to go to the mall all the time, I wouldn't say Davis is gonna be the place for you, just because Davis has more of that small town vibe. You don't have the big box amenities, you don't have the big box retailers or even your chain restaurants. There are a few chain restaurants in Davis, but not many. So when it comes to shopping and the food scene, everything's gonna be a little bit more of a local vibe. So just keep that in mind, that the shopping scene isn't really that massive here. And if it's something that you're into, if you're a big shopper, you know, that's definitely something that you're gonna have to consider. However, if you're a shopper like me and you're an Amazon person and you just get everything delivered to you, then Davis might be the best place for you because you're not in the hustle and bustle of busy shopping areas. Now, the neighborhood I'm at right now is going to be Stonegate. Stonegate is located on the west side of Davis. It's one of the most sought after neighborhoods in Davis. Now, the reason that a lot of people really want to live in Stonegate is because Stonegate has its own country club. So you have access to a country club where there's a pool, there's pickleball courts, there's a private meeting room, there's a basketball courts. There's also some homes that back up to a man-made lake. It's such a cool neighborhood. There's so many fun things to do. You can get out, you can be active, you can play pickleball with your friends if that's something that you're into, and it's right in your neighborhood and you have access to all of these amenities. Now, the other cool thing about Stonegate is that it's known for its sense of community. Now, Stonegate does a ton of family-friendly things. They've got a bunch of different community events that they do throughout the year. They do a big Easter egg hunt at the park. They also do a Christmas parade throughout this neighborhood. And the other cool thing about this neighborhood is these homes are very, very unique. These homes were custom built homes back in the 1970s and 80s. A lot of them are single story ranch-like homes. You can find a couple two-story homes, but they kind of have that big sprawling feel. Now, the other thing that I love about the homes in this neighborhood is that they're gonna offer a unique architectural style. So like I said, there's gonna be some single story ranch style homes. There's gonna be some two-story homes. They're gonna sit on larger lots with a big sprawling feel. Now, also these homes do have the space to put in a pool if the house doesn't already have a pool. So if you're looking for a neighborhood where you have a larger backyard, Stonegate is gonna be the place that you're gonna wanna be. Now, Stonegate is a highly sought after neighborhood. It's one of those neighborhoods that when homes go on the market here, they tend to go really quickly. All right, now let's move on to a pro and a con. Now, a pro for Davis is going to be that it's community oriented and it's generally a safe area. Now, the fact that besides the University of California, Davis, there's not a lot going on in this town, so not a lot of people are traveling specifically into Davis unless you're a college student going to the university. You don't have a big shopping mall that's going to draw a lot of people. Now, it is a community oriented city. It's one thing that I absolutely love. There's a bunch of farmers markets that happen throughout the city every single week. There's also a lot of different community events that happen here. You've got a bunch of different things that happen at the university where the university also invites people from Davis in. Like they have a big picnic day, they have a festival day where a lot of people specifically from Davis will travel down to the university to attend some of those events. So there's a lot of community events that happen in the heart of Davis. So if you're looking for a community-friendly place, Davis is definitely going to be somewhere that you're going to want to think about and maybe consider moving to. Now, a con to living in Davis is going to be traffic congestion that can happen due to university events. So Davis has a huge population of university students that live all across the city, and when certain events happen at the university, traffic congestion can be crazy. Specifically like graduation or when football games happen, it can get congested across the city when it comes to traffic. All right, so that was it. That was everything that you need to know if you're considering a move to Davis, California. Now, we covered some amazing neighborhoods. We covered a lot about what the life is like here. We covered about pros and cons, and maybe Davis wasn't the spot for you, and that's totally okay too.
So we've lived here for our entire life, and a lot of times when we're listening to you guys on these Zoom calls, a lot of it is going to be, 97% of the places in the Sacramento metro region are not going to be a good fit. And that's where we're going to really get clear on your goals, what you guys like to do as a family or what you guys like to do individually, and figure out what's going to be the absolute best area for you. So that phone number is going to be popping up. We are the ones that answer every phone call, email, and text message. And we absolutely love it when you guys reach out to us. So that phone number is up there. Use it, pause the video, take a screenshot, or better yet, scan that QR code so that way we can book your one-on-one Zoom consultation.